So Tunde, we know, actually was down at Stanford on the basketball team as a manager down there back in the 90s. Tunde now is the Deputy Director of Mural Music and Arts Project, an arts-based youth and development program down in East Palo Alto. He's the founder of S-Face, an entrepreneurial business that uses fashion, athletics, community events, and entertainment to bring a positive message to urban communities. I mean, Tunde's just been a great guy that we've known through playing basketball. Great guy to know. He's going to talk to us tonight about public speaking. We thought this was a good kickoff about the power of public speaking. And with that, take it away, Tunde.
Hey, thank you, Richard. All right. So I walked in, I saw the surfboard, and then I saw Scott walk in with the guitar. And I wish I had a prop. I don't even have a PowerPoint. If I had props, it would be my 4 kids. They're all home and sick, but they would be here to kind of help tell the story of the public speaking and what we can learn from our children as it relates to public speaking. Every time the holidays come around, I get a chance to kind of hear them in their room. And all of us have children. Some of us are crazy enough to have more than one. I don't think there's anybody in here crazier than Tamara and me and have more than 4. So we're really crazy. We have 4. We're in Silicon Valley and do the nonprofit work, so they share a room. So every holiday season, they'll have, and everyone who knows more than one sharing a room, it's going to take about 45 minutes. You put them in, you shut the door. It's going to take about 45 minutes plus, before they finally fall asleep. But holiday season comes around and presents come, then you add on another 30 minutes. So we're doing this even this early January, and I'm putting my head to the door, and I'm seeing hearing all this ruckus, and the bedtime may be 10 o'clock on with the vacation time, but whatever the case is, they're in there and they're playing, and you can hear it. And then I give the little stomps, and I fiddle with the doorknob, and I come in and zoop. You would never know they're there. It's like mice, like professionals. They just all go to their rooms, and all go to their beds, and their heads on their pillow, and they're faking sleeping. And so I do that like 1 or 2, 3 more times, and the third time I'm like, I want to see how long they can actually hold this. And so the eyes are just boom, and they're facing, and the eyes are kind of behind their eyelids, and they may fidget every now and then, but they're really holding this pretty well. All of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but gradually, the pace starts slowing, the heart rate starts slowing down, the eyes stop moving, and all of a sudden they're asleep. I'm like, what a beautiful message, that if you fake it long enough, you're eventually going to make it. And that is the essence of public speaking, is that if you can fake it long enough, you can make it. And that's in speaking, and the Tao talks about, I've always tried to hold on to this quote that says, if you want to be noble, act noble, and so just the whole notion of faking it until you're making it is the idea about public speaking. I've done a number of kind of talks of exploration around public presentations, and always the goal is, how do I overcome my nervousness? And now I figured out that there was a quote by the second best basketball player ever to play the game, second to LeBron James. Michael Jordan once said that if that's for Paco. Michael Jordan once said that if I stop becoming nervous, I want to stop playing the game. And so, this nervousness is something that I have learned to try to embrace and try to really channel. And I think there are some lessons learned around this, faking it to making it. And I want to kind of leave you with 4 elements of delivery that hopefully, no matter how you feel internally, you can externally show some confidence. And the 4 are stance, the feet, and then gestures with the hands, voice, and then eye contact. And I have a funny story about each children. I got 4 children, 4 little points. The first point is about feet and its stance. And in basketball, as a coach, I always preach, no stance, no chance. You got to be in a stance in order to do it. You shoot, you got to be in a nice, ready position. To play defense, you got to be in a nice, ready position. And really, no matter what sport you play, I think there's a nice athletic stance that makes you, ready to make a movement. Same is true for public speaking. And so as I preach this with Tayo, who's my oldest, who has a little bit now an affection towards basketball, I'm trying to drill in no stance, no chance. And I sometimes have him eat a bowl of cereal in the position, like this. Or if he wants to watch a movie, I say, hey, you give me the first half in the stance, you can watch the movie. So the idea is that if you can just do it long enough, you'll practice, you'll generate, some sort of comfort with that. And that's the same is true for the ready position in public speaking. And I'm trying my best, as much as I'm nervous and as much as I want to fidget, to try to display the ready position, which I think is kind of the most neutral and natural position to start from. It may not feel natural or neutral, but it appears that way. And that's the kind of essence of public speaking is, if you care more about like what you look like and not what you feel, you'll be okay. So this is just, sort of with the part. I mean, knees are bent, hands are by my side, and it's not the fig leaf, and it's not the bouncer, or it's not, the rocker, or any of those things that oftentimes become our default position, just because we channel that nervous energy. But if we can control it, easier said than done, but if we can control it, the ready position is a good place to start. Eventually, you're going to want to do something with your hands. And so the hands, the second kid, I think, really shows the power of gestures. And Tamilola, is extremely dramatic. And the other children kind of are nuanced in their movements. We tell them something, they're disappointed, they kind of just shrug their shoulders. Tamilola can throw a fit like the best of them. And so she'll throw her hands up and, she'll exaggerate all of her movements. And that I feel like is a good way to do gestures. If you make them big, if you make them above the waist, if you kind of show, control of this space, you can show that you're commanding and that you're intentional. And it's much better than doing small movements below the waist and that kind of thing. So that's the good piece to remember about gestures. Gestures you can use to describe something, how tall somebody was, or how, round the ball was, or how you followed through on a shot, whatever you can use to describe. You can also use to kind of orient the audience, my first point, second point, third point, or you can use just to use an emphatic gesture to emphasize a particular point. So those are gestures. And then voice, 4-month-old Taye has mastered that even in 4 months. And that is, he's already understanding, the pillow talk. After breastfeeding, he'll have, a very nice, calm voice and, begin to murmur to his mother, which I think is a very sensitive thing. He's not screaming. He's not yelling. It's a very nice, romantic pillow talk. I think that's very, I think that's very mature. If he wants something, he's going to scream, he's going to yell, he's going to overdramatic. And that kind of variation in your voice and control, I think, should also be exercised in public speaking. So when you control your pace and the volume and the pitch, you can, kind of invoke certain emotions from the audience. And so I think it's good to play with that as well in public speaking. Pauses are probably one of the most powerful points about voice. Pauses are some of the most powerful things about voice. It allows, the audience to remember what you just said. It kind of gives you some time to think about what you say. And if you can, much harder than said than done, but if you can replace whatever our filler word of choice is with a pause, it's that much more powerful. That's voice. And then eye contact is the most embarrassing point to bring up about my own family, and that is Tatiola. Tatiola is the third one, and she unfortunately has mastered eye contact in a way where she could tell a non-truth extremely well. And, like us all, we all have kind of maxes on. Some of us no sugar in the house. Us, we're a little more flexible. We kind of let them, but there's limits. And she pushes those limits, and she'll find the candy or she'll find the juice. And no matter if she has a thing of Skittles hanging down her mouth or her shirt is full of juice, she will look you in the eye and swear that she didn't have any candy or any juice. And so I'm at one point, I'm just like, this is extremely terrible that at such a young age, you can really just lie like that, and I'm embarrassed to say that as a parent. But on the other side, I'm very happy she's understanding, what it takes to, exude confidence, and she would look you straight there with a nice stance and tell you, no, Daddy, I did not have any juice. And she'll hold that eye contact. We all know that if you fidget with your eye contact, or it's, or if it's sporadic, that it's not going to exude the kind of confidence you want. So as a presenter, if you hold eye contact for 2 to 3 seconds, then you kind of make a connection with the audience, and it's always good to do that. I had one person that I made that suggestion to, and they were a mathematician. So for all you mathematicians and scientists out there, it doesn't mean that you just start at right here and go right here and go right here and go right here and make it, that it doesn't mean, we call it the sprinkler effect. We don't want that. We want you to, around the room, just kind of hold eye contact and try to spread it across the room. And those 4 elements of stance, gestures, voice, and eye contact, I think, can give some presentations, despite some powerful, effective presentations, despite whatever you're feeling on the inside. That notion of internal nervousness or confidence versus external is a good notion to play with. And if you learn how to fake it, I think we all can make it. And thank you.
Thank you.